If you're an overseas teaching assistant dreaming of working in a UK school, this is the video that will finally make sense of all the confusing bits. The DBS checks, right to work documents, job adverts full of mysterious pay scales, and what term time only really means. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what schools are asking for and how to apply with confidence, even though your experience comes from outside the UK. And this is a reminder to ask for the free PDF that accompanies this video. It gives you links to websites that will help you get up and running. So just type free PDF please in the comments below this video and I will give you the link to it. 1. The essentials you'll need before you begin. So let's start with the non-negotiables. Before you can start a UK TA role, you'll need a clear DBS check that's your criminal record check for working with children. You'll need an enhanced DBS check because you'll be working in schools. And usually what happens is that the application for your DBS is done through the school or agency employing you. Once you've got it, you can sign up to the DBS update service. This keeps your certificate active and saves you having to reapply every time you move schools. Now, on saying that, schools do tend to reapply, but I think it costs around about £15 a year to keep your DBS certificate sort of up to date. So I think it's well worth having, and I think probably more schools are using it now. It's like anything, when something's new and it's been around for a few years. When something's new, it's always looked upon a bit suspiciously. So it's a good thing to have. I still have it, even though I work full time doing this kind of thing. I'm not in schools, but I still have it. You'll need your right to work documentation. So this might be a UK or Irish passport or other forms of documentation as outlined on the gov.uk website. So I've given you a link to that in the PDF that accompanies this video course. Schools will ask for original documents, so make sure you have them ready. And something else you'll need are references. So usually when you're applying for a job as a TA, you're asked for 2, and they must cover your most recent experience. So if your referees are overseas, give their professional email addresses and explain their relationship to you. And it's also a good idea to ask those people if it's okay to give their email addresses out as referees. 2, understanding UK job adverts. So this part trips up so many overseas candidates as well as people in the UK, because you'll often see complicated things like teaching assistant, grade C, scale 3, £25,185 FTE, pro-rata, term time only. So let's break this down. The grade or the scale, these refer to the local authority pay structures. So for example, scale 3 might be around £25,000 if you worked full time all year round. Now, working full time is known as the FTE, full time equivalent. And that's where pro rata comes in, because this means you'll be paid for the portion of the year you actually work, because obviously schools have long holidays. So it's usually around 39 weeks here in the UK. So your actual pay will be lower than the full-time equivalent, the FTE figure. So that means it could be anything from, maybe £8,000 or £9,000 across to, I've put 18 in the slide here, but depending on the hours you're working, you could be paid as low as around £8,000, up to £21,000, depending, as I say, on the hours. So if you get a job that's for, I don't know, 20 hours a week, you'll obviously be earning significantly less than the FTE figure, which is reflecting, somewhere upwards of 35 hours a week. Term time only. Now, you don't work during the school breaks. So that's where term time only comes in. But the thing is, most schools will split your salary across 12 months. So you don't have to worry about being without pay during, or having a smaller amount of pay during months where there's holidays, because obviously in the month of April you'll get 2 weeks for Easter. You're out for the whole of August. So that's why most schools spread pay across 12 months. So once you understand these terms, you can compare jobs properly and know what to expect before you apply. And I do have a great video that that will explain more about this, and I've put a link to it in the PDF that accompanies this course. 3, how to create a UK-friendly CV. So here's the good news. Your overseas experience can shine on a UK CV if you present it in the right way. So your CV should be just 1 or 2 pages long, clearly show your role titles, ages of students supported, and specific tasks. So for example, were you supporting literacy groups, maths groups? Are you used to preparing classroom materials, helping with special educational needs and disabilities, that kind of thing? And it should be written in UK English. So, for example, words like behaviour should be spelt with a U, not without a U. That tends to be the American spelling. Now, there is software that can help you with getting your written English spot on, and I have put a link to those in the PDF. And most importantly, in your CV, highlight your transferable skills. So these are examples of transferable skills because you are an overseas TA. So cultural empathy. So naturally attuned to supporting children from different backgrounds because you understand what it's like to adjust to a new culture. Or you might have the transferable skill of breaking down barriers, helping children with English as an additional language, and parents feel included and represented in school life. Because obviously, if for any parents who don't speak English or don't speak it very well, they can feel very excluded. You might have a global perspective, bringing a wider understanding of diversity, fairness, and respect, which are key elements of British values and inclusion. And you might have multilingual communication skills, supporting students with English as an additional language, EAL, and helping them feel understood. That's a big thing. If you can speak more than one language, obviously you can, because you're speaking your home language plus English plus any other language. That's a big plus. So include on your CV a short personal profile at the top that explains your motivation to work in UK schools. This helps employers see your commitment immediately. But I have given you a link to a website that shows you how to write a CV in my free PDF. 4, voluntary, agency and direct hire roles. Now, these are the 3 main ways to get started in a UK school. So voluntary work is perfect if you want UK experience quickly, because obviously you're not being paid. So schools are much more likely to take you up on your offer And even a few hours a week can open doors and get you references. And that, references are golden. If you can be working on a voluntary basis in a school and then ask for references, that really helps when you apply for paid work. Agency work is the next way. So recruitment agencies match you with schools that need temporary or supply TAs. It's flexible, but pay can vary and consistency of employment isn't guaranteed, but it is definitely a way of getting paid experience in schools in the UK. And direct hire roles, these are jobs advertised directly by schools or local councils. They often offer more stability, paid holidays and opportunities for progression. That is, if you get a permanent role in a school, that's golden. So some TAs start with voluntary or agency work to build experience, then move into a direct hire role once they've made a good impression in a school. So obviously, if you work for an agency and a school particularly likes you, they might take you on permanently. The only problem with that is I think there's often a payment they have to make to the agency. So I would see agency work as a way of getting paid employment plus experience plus those really important references. Now I've made a video about how to move from volunteer and agency work to working directly for a school, and I've put a link to that in the PDF that accompanies this course. Now, 5 pitfalls to avoid. So it's really important that you don't pay for unnecessary training or fake job offers. Genuine schools won't ask for money up front. And when you're looking for training online, don't get caught up in the whole sort of paying in installments for a course that's maybe costing you several £100s. Don't underestimate voluntary work. UK experience on your CV matters more than certificates that schools don't recognise. And that's where your CV, if you can put your transferable skills there, that's why that's really important. And don't skip reading the job description. So make sure the duties match your level of experience and interest. Okay, you started this video feeling lost in a maze of forms, adverts, and acronyms. Now you've got a much better knowledge about what each requirement means, how to prepare your documents, and how to present your experience confidently on a UK friendly CV. So you're moving from guessing how to progress into your TA role in the UK to knowing. And the links provided in the PDF will give you even more knowledge, so that you can keep moving forward. Now, in video 3, we'll look at communication confidence, speaking and understanding UK classroom language. And I look forward to seeing you there.